Allow me to show you something.
I think I finally arrived here. I finally feel like I'm present here, right here, and not elsewhere. But before the journey around here truly begins, or before I go, I have a few questions. Will you hear me? I don't expect an answer. How do you finish things that you start? At times, I think that I have more incomplete paintings and ideas than complete ones, and mostly it's not an issue. But when that dawns on me, I slowly grow anxious. How will this short lifetime be enough to execute all of these ideas that I have? Truth be told, I don't have the skills to execute all of them, and maybe I might not develop the skills. Actually, might not want to develop the skills. And these ideas stay ideas and not realities. But then again, not all ideas are worth executing, and some of these deserve to stay in the notes app or my rough sketchbook. I think. I'd like to think. I'd like to believe. How do you cure the craving of a conversation? Not a pleasant exchange about the mess food or the weather, but the craving of a conversation that flows in familiarity. Familiarity of knowing the person you're talking to. Familiarity of the person knowing you. The language of familiar gags and taglines and rhythmic, comfortable silences. I was of the belief that when things need to be concluded, as time moves on, it becomes very easy, very natural to conclude. For how long can you hold on to the past? And as time passes by, won't it be easier not to think of all that has happened? But conclusions don't come naturally. They are, unfortunately, forced. At least that's the case when it comes to life. I think. I'd like to think. I'd like to believe. How do you build a home? I think it takes a lifetime. A lifetime of tiny moments, moments of joy, moments of sadness, all wrapped up into every corner of every square foot, to the point that there's a story you can tell on each tile that you stand on. Even the stupid nails on the walls or the scratches have stories. A lifetime of texture. Or maybe it doesn't take a lifetime but a phase of your life to pour stories into a place. But that doesn't come naturally, at least at first. I think. I'd like to think. I'd like to believe. How do you stop living in the past? I find it hard to avoid thinking of the past. The glow of afternoons reminds me of evenings that I wish were spent elsewhere. Elsewhere where there were no curfews and a little bit more ignorance of the future and all that it beholds. Sometimes do you wonder what life would be like if you hadn't taken all the decisions that you did? In retrospect, it feels like maybe the inverse of some decisions would have worked out to be better. At least right now, in this exact moment, they seem like the better choice. Even though when I logically think about things and the way that everything panned out and continues to pan out, the decision that I took was the right one. But I still see myself getting stuck in the nostalgia of what could have been. The possibilities are endless. They are endlessly beautiful. I think. I'd like to think. I'd like to believe.